Focus has just secured himself their first point here at Polaris, but now it's up against VAMONOS versus BONK to decide which one of these two teams is going to be the winner for the rest of the day. This matchup is quite the interesting one, as we've seen a lot from BONK throughout the last split, and they've had a little bit of roster changes, whereas VAMONOS is one of the teams that qualify through the beacons, and they're an absolute fresh new face. I'm Janine, joined by MP, and I want your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions on this game.
It's going to be a real interesting game. And I think both of these teams are really solid. VAMONOS obviously coming through the qualifiers. They were able to beat out Le Petit Buffon, E-Masters, even Barbers. I think with this variation of the roster, before this tournament, they had struggled to win out these teams. They were even losing like 13-1, 13-2 to Le Petit Buffon in best of threes. That was awful. But this formation of VAMONOS, the form that they have right now, I think it looks really solid. And even though that our predictions were completely towards the side of BONK, I think VAMONOS, they stand a chance in this matchup.
Yeah, I love how you're mentioning that they're such a good team, but BONK, every single one of the talent voted for BONK, and here's why. Looking at the roster, we've seen so much, not just from Chihuahua, but from Cider, from Kicks, from Bonkar, from Yuso. We've seen these players. They still have Jibril as their manager. Maxim is still their coach, and it feels like this is one of the rosters that just kind of picked the best parts, some of the best parts of Polaris from last year, put it together, and it's looking very promising.
Oh yeah, I love the thing that where Bunker Kicks, they were teammates in the last season. They have stuck through together. They actually were the core members of this BONK. They had different variation of this team in the off season, but they're still keeping together. They're still confident with this team, and like you said, I feel like they have picked out the best parts of this Northern Europe of Polaris, and we can see that in Chihuahua. Yuso, Seder even. I think that's great. Those are really great pickups from Excel Alliance. And I have nothing else to say about BONK. They look really good.
They do look really good indeed, and Cider as well, playing for FPX as a stand-in at the time, and Chihuahua for Excel. I think that's one of the players who, even when BONK was Tundra, so that was at the beginning that was last year at the beginning when BONK was actually BONK, so they had Yassine on it, and then they turned Tundra into the second stage. I remember in interviews that Yassine was always like, I don't know what Chihuahua is doing, because that guy is like zoned in, and that's so true. And instead of trying to beat them, I guess you join him, or you make them join you. So now Chihuahua is on the side of BONK, and he's looking to replicate the success from last year potentially here, because this man has been decorated not once but twice as one of the Pathfinders here at Polaris, because he was on Excel, and they won both stage 1 and stage 2. No, there was no script. But for them to actually be able to go and get that first point today, they have to go up against VAMONOS. And as you said it yourself, MP, this is one of the teams that initially was looking a little question marky. But now we've seen Nille, we've seen Sunshine, we've seen Zik, we know what they are capable of. And with Klisha and Warren in the mix, it feels like they have had a quite of good running. 9 wins, 3 losses in total.
Yeah, I really liked how VAMONOS looked against Le Petit Buffon and the other teams coming up in the qualifiers for Split 2 finals. And I think it was really solid showing from the side of VAMONOS. I think they grew as a team, their players grew alongside them. They have 2 Fortnite players in Klusha and Warman. I think Klusha had like 150,000 in earnings on Fortnite, so definitely not a bad player there, and has a lot of competitive experience. I think he's like 21 or 22.
Wow.
And like crazy experience. Also one of these ranked demons. It was top 27 Radiant, like I think it was a few seasons ago, but still amazing player. I'm just waiting to see him in action in Polaris.
Yeah, and because, as we mentioned earlier, this is the team that did not actually get invited, they qualified through the beacons, and they had quite an impressive run. So let's hear from them to see what they think about their performance so far.
Hey guys, my name is Sig. I'm the Agile of VAMONOS.
I'm Warren, guys, and I play for VAMONOS.
I came into the team rather late. I came as a stand-in for another player.
We started the Beacon circuit a long time ago. It was Krigon, KPZ, myself. We got sick at the end. I was IGLing, I switched off, and then he took the IGL role. I couldn't perform at my best when I was IGLing, so now I can carry some games, you know.
Out of this world! Only 2 players getting taken out with him, but he might as well have a few more. Every single time you come towards B, the beast is lurking, and it is Vorwin.
Since I had to do the IGL role, I had to make some adjustments for the team. We had to get rid of the old custom from the other IGL.
Another game that we qualified against E-Masters. We did not expect E-Masters to be in the upper final. We expected to meet like the Barbers or the Petit Bouffons on the key game. The confidence we had in that game was better than we expected, and it helped us do the comeback that we did in the second game.
You do not have time, E-Masters! It's Nille who finds it!
Qualifying for Polaris means a lot, honestly. And the goal for us was not to get any money, not to get any work. Our goal was to not be left out, you know. We just wanted to keep competing, be on the international level and compete every day. And that's what we made.
It's just so surreal to just come into a team and beat all the teams in a straight row and then just qualify.
And Zik is taking names, lives and numbers flawless from VAMONOS.
There's some really good teams in Polaris. I think it's one of the most stacked regional leagues in Europe right now, if not the most.
I believe that the other teams are gonna give us a hard time in the beginning for sure.
I expect us to be like top 5, 6 at the beginning, and then I hope we can be on the top at the end.
VAMONOS so far, they have proven themselves. They look like quite an incredibly strong team. And BONK, yes, we've heard of their successes, finishing second last time around as Tundra, but they have a new roster. They're sticking with Kicks, they're sticking with Bonkar, but it's a matter of will the other pieces of the puzzle fit in together and actually give us a finished picture and potentially give Tundra that little boost that it needed to finish first. If anything, MP, as you know, VAMONOS said before, and we'll reiterate this time around Polaris is really stacked in terms of teams, players, talent, and that could be a little issue for BONK, but also for VAMONOS. VAMONOS proving themselves against Le Petit Bouffon, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were bringing up Kicks right there, and I think Kicks is definitely one of the better players in this league. Have been able to grow a lot in terms of as a player. I think in terms of having a lot of agents to flex with. Yeah. And I think Bunker is one of the greatest players to work alongside. Bunker, really solid experience behind him, good IGL, and I think Kicks has probably learned a lot from him. And I'm so excited to see what this young gun has to offer. I remember like seeing Kicks pop off with a KO, have great flashes, multi kills, and I'm excited to see whether he has the same thing in store. And obviously on the other side, you have Nille. I think Nille was one of the players that was little unknown before he came to Polaris, at least for me. But he was definitely one of the best players. He had some crazy highlights. Obviously, didn't show in the stats quite that much. Yeah. But this time around, I think Nille is already in the stats, like on board with the stats and popping off on the server. When they were qualifying in this, in the Division 1 finals, Nille was top 5 in almost every standing of the stat, and that's insanely good. And I'm just excited to see how much Nille can capitalize off of this new meta.
Yeah, and I think also one of the highlighting things for Kicks was the fact that the KO from him was coupled with the jet from Yasin, and it felt like they were both very good in terms of the synergy that they had set up. So again, it brings the question, is the current jet player from the side of BONK going to have the same synergy with Kicks as Yasin did? Is Kicks going to be the one on the jet? I think it does leave a couple of questions once again for this team in terms of who's going to be picking up what role. But then I think when we're looking at VAMONOS, it's a little bit more solid. It's a little bit more clear simply because they played that beacon, simply because we've seen their past performances. And we're going to be starting off with map picks. I think when it comes to VAMONOS, Pearl is probably not a map they want to pick. They lost 1-13 against Le Petit Bouffon, which I think is a little sad. You don't want to replicate that. But then looking at their track record on other maps, MP, they're all really good.
Yeah, they were actually banning that Pearl on the second time they faced against Le Petit Buffon, and there's obviously a reason for that. And yeah, Haven, I think it looks really solid for them. I'm not quite sure if they're gonna go for the Haven as their pick, because they have solid chances in Ascent and Icebox as well. They have played quite a lot of these maps. Even Breeze, I think that could be something that a lot of people want to ban because it's going out of the map pool, but they could have a solid chance there. They have won against the Le Petit Buffons, OnlyFins. They have had some solid performances there, but BONK, Ascent, probably most likely. I think Ascent and Icebox, they look really, really strong for me to maybe come in this map beta.
Well, looking at the bans, there you go. Pearl is the first one to be banned out by VAMONOS. We then have Icebox, Haven, and Ascent. I think Haven and Ascent, once again, are those two maps that, and even Icebox, to be completely honest, where you already have a lot of experience playing on these maps. It's nothing too new, especially for a lot of these players who have already played on teams before. It's not a completely new map. They already have set plays most likely in place. They already have strategies in place already. But all in all, I'm not surprised by this pick specifically.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think all of this map pool is really solid for both of these teams. They have played quite multiple games in each one of these. I think the exception being Haven. BONK doesn't have many games in Haven in terms of officials. Not the perfect results that they would love to. And that's exactly why I think VAMONOS will have a really good chance in there, but it's BONK's map pick, which should say something, should say that they might have a good, solid setup coming there, maybe in this new meta. But it's a weird dynamic when you're back or when your previous results doesn't really show strong Haven. I'm a heavy believer of recency bias. So that's going to be little strange for me.
Yeah, and I think the Icebox as well, the pick that comes out from VAMONOS, is something that they're very comfortable in. They have played it a total of 10 times, where they lost 3 out of 10. No, they played it a total of 12 times. Sorry, I cannot do maths. They won 9 times, they lost 3, so there you go, 12 times. But I think one of the interesting thing is half of those times that they've played it, so 6 out of 12, they actually ran it with the Chamber. So as you mentioned earlier as well, MP, the fact that Chamber is, not as popular anymore. What was it, 0.83% pick rate in the Beacon split?
Yeah, something like that, 0.44 or something.
That's really low. Nobody
under
likes
a 1%. Yeah.
That's really, nobody likes, everybody's friendship with Chamber has ended, and now Killjoy is everybody's new best friend. So they brought Killjoy into the mix more recently. But again, I'm thinking whether or not that's going to be, the correct course of action against BONK, because we don't have any stats on BONK, so we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's weird what they're gonna do. I think they ran the race a little bit, but it wasn't this formation of the roster. I think it was 3 with core players. No, it was with Keiko and Destructive. They ran the race, so it was really weird. I'm not quite sure whether they want to go there because the Chamber was on board back then as well. But
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Hey, Chihuahua on their Cypher. Okay, my day is made. Okay, I won. If we even had a prediction in chat, I would have won that prediction. I would have put all my money on it, and I would have made a return on my investment. But looking at VAMONOS agent selection, it's pretty much identical to what we've seen them do in the last 3 games, which they've had the most success rate with. Then looking at BONK, I think it's, again, giving answers in terms of what is Kix playing, who's going for the Jet, what can we expect from the likes of Chihuahua.
Yeah, Kix is really flexible, like we see in terms of stage. I think it's going to be a really solid pick into this Icebox. Almost a mirror matchup. The Killjoy Cypher difference might make a difference. I think Sunshine, looking at previous matches, may be more comfortable with the Killjoy. And Chihuahua, obviously a Cypher main. I love to see that. And I want to see how the Cypher is going to work in this map in terms of the tripwires and all of those things. And also, I heard a rumor that VAMONOS, they have a new coach. I think on the doc, it was only team that didn't have a coach, and now they do. I want to see how it impacts this roster.
Yep. And ladies and gents and everyone else, we are now on to Icebox. First map for BONK versus VAMONOS. VAMONOS picks here, starting off on the attacking side.
Yep. Making their way so close to A side.
Making their way downtown. Sorry, I had to, okay? You gave that setup. Chihuahua and BONK, though, they've already started off strong. So it's Bonkar. So is the team named after Bonkar?
Maybe. I think they had a previous iteration of this roster, and Bunker was on that roster as well. So
Listen, as long as we don't see him with a judge in bind 9 rounds in a row, we're good.
it's true. I think it was 10. Maybe 9. Maybe 9.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was sad to watch. But yeah, Bonkar, BONK. See, it's gonna be a little confusing, but BONK still, they get the defuse on the pistol round, and it feels like the retake was very standard. I think this is what you'd expect from both of these teams. You get onto a side, it's pistol round, you go on the retake, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Okay, Bunker.
Yeah. You see what I'm seeing?
I am seeing exactly what you are seeing. I think Cider might even have a heavy influence on this. Has this short time in FPX, really good time in FPX actually, securing the qualification for next stage. I think it was champs. Really solid, heavy influence, I would say, into this buy. Double rifle, saving up for 2 players, and then having that Spectre.
Yep. And that's a classic. We've seen what classics can do so far, to be honest, but I'm not expecting too much this time around. It feels like BONK is one of those teams that potentially is not going to give VAMONOS that opportunity to utilize those classics, but instead it's Chihuahua on the Ghost. But Yuso finds 2 with that Vandal, and once again Zik with the right click trying to get something, but it's Kicks instead who's able to utilize it. Nile has a shot or 2 or 3, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. Kicks is the one to come out on top. Marshall unfortunately gone from the side of VAMONOS, and it feels like BONK, they hit that flawless.
Yeah, this buy pays off. No one gets damaged on the side of BONK. Not a single one. And Yuso, 1 away from Blade Storm. If he gets that, they basically have, what, 5 rifles? I would even say 6 rifles. If you give this man a Blade Storm, it's gonna be scary.
So don't give him a Blaze Storm. 5-head.
Yeah.
But you can't do that because he's got to get it eventually. And the way that he's been playing, he's only 1 point off, so that makes it even more scary.
And the Blade Storm is there.
There we go. It's online. It's activated. Yuso's looking to get those early picks. Aggression coming out quite quickly.
Something that they could have done. Oh, Chihuahua? It's taken out, but trade is there with the last knife. I think that was the last knife. Yuso is able to get that trade.
All he needs is that last knife.
Yeah. Cider gets the spot, gets away as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of players spotted. There means that there's a clear indication that players are looking towards the B side. He's gonna hug yellow. Quite a great position. These one-ways, okay, I am traumatized because the amount of times people are hiding in them and you walk past and you just get like shot in the back. Not for me. Cider does get spotted though, but reinforcements is coming for the team, and as Zeke is looking to cross, he doesn't take into consideration the fact that there's a snake bite as well. But not just that, Yuso is also on the hunt. Sunshine finds a pick himself. Cider taken out of the equation. 2 on 3 from the side of BONK. They have to defend this with their lives. Time is ticking. VAMONOS still have some to play with. 30 seconds left. More than enough to get that plant down. Move back into post plant, but yes sir. After the spike has been planted, they get 2 picks, and that Sage Wall is making it a little difficult for Nile to actually try and fight this. Toxic Wall goes back up. They have no awareness in terms of where it is positioned. But Nile is trying to hold on for dear life. It's a matter of time. Time alone. It's got to drop. He's going to hit the spike. There is no trade coming out from Yuso. He's not faking it. He got it halfway, and as he goes for the peak, Yuso is the one to come out on top. 3-0 for BONK. What a start on VAMONOS map pick.
And especially for Yuso, once again just dominating the server. 8-0, getting 3 kills in that round, securing it down. And these 2 players, they have 35 years in total in between them. Yuso and Kicks.
Huh? 35?
Yeah.
Wait. How old
18,
is Yuso?
17? I think Yuso was 18 and Kicks 17. That's
Why did you say 35?
in total for Kicks and Yuzo.
Oh, together!
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry! Chihuahua, Cider, Yesu. Every single one of these players is just popping off.
Sometimes the brains are slacks.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant
more
like...
for the others.
No, I thought you meant like there's a 35-year gap between them.
Oh no,
I was like, yo, that's like the oldest gamer. To be hitting these shots is insane.
Damn, Yuzo is just... I mean, they're running it down, but not down mid. They're running it down...
everywhere.
I don't know what, like... VAMONOS doesn't even know what to do here. I wouldn't either.
I know.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going there. VAMONOS, though, it feels like a timeout is required here. I think just a matter of sitting down, getting it, recollecting your nerves, because you're so 10-0. That is scary. 2 points off another Blade Storm, and we're only 5 rounds in. This man is on an absolute tear. And this is the util being used by VAMONOS not to get onto site, but to prevent Yuzo from pushing out aggressively. That's when you know you're in a terrible position.
They should have done that round 3 when Yuzo was 1 away from the orb. They should have placed that shock dart and snakebite there and maybe gotten kill. Oh, no. They will fall back out of that A side. Yuzo standing still, holding belt. They have really good setups. Everyone holding one position. And BONK, Chihuahua is playing down this B side, anchoring it. Let's see whether they can hold it down.
Yeah, BONK does look like they have lineups, which again is going to be potentially useful in terms of determining where the push is coming from. Chihuahua at the right time manages to turn the cam, and that saves BONK, potentially giving him enough time to get back to safety. The cage is used, allowing BONK safe passage. At the same time, yes, he was going to miss a shot on Sunshine. He's the one to be coming out on top this time around. And that opens a little bit of the playing field.
He Kicks almost following it up. He wants to get the kill, so maybe getting a resurrection would be available. Nille. Good trade, back and forth. Kicks may be able to rest that rafter position.
Lockdown's down. Resurrection is back. Cider is online. But the players are dropping, and that leaves BONK all by himself. He's also detained just at the corner. VAMONOS have the time to get the plant down, but this is speaking volumes to their confidence level. He is detained. They are aware of his position. They are aware of him being detained, but instead of trying to go and get that kill, they decide to play it safely, which opens up the potential for BONK to clutch this out.
Yeah, BONK with a lot of experience. Is he able to take this one?
He's not going to be able to, but that was too close for comfort.
Yeah, finds the 1 versus 1. I think Sunshine is not even ready to take that trade right there. He's not ready to play the contact, which you really want to have. But thankfully for VAMONOS, Crucia can finish it out. Nille almost investing the Viper Spit down there as well. VAMONOS opening up the map with 1 round on the board. Helps them a little bit, at least. Yuzo with the operator in hand. 1 away from Bladestorm again.
Yep.
It's been 5 rounds.
Yeah, but then you're looking at VAMONOS, and they have 3 ults online. They have the Hunter's Fury, they have the Viper's Pit, they have the Bladestorm. So if anything, they are also a little bit of a cushion that they have allowed themselves to build over these last few rounds to be able to invest it, because that lockdown, we've seen how crucial that was in terms of flushing members out of the site, in terms of giving VAMONOS the confidence they needed to take some of these fights and to go for them and to take the picks out from the side of BONK. So therefore, having these available is huge, and there we go, the Viper Spit is being put online. And that again cuts out the line of sights. They know that there's an operator in play. And it also gives them the opportunity to go for the plant.
Yeah, no drone available for the side of BONK. Cannot take the retake with that. But the spike isn't down even yet. BONK is holding the backside, but sick. How does he even find it?
Ooh. BONK is going to find 1 player. It's going to get tagged a little. It's going to be able to back off. We're just looking to play even further. More the aggression coming out from BONK. This man, he's gonna go for that peak, potentially being able to find 3. He gets 2 out of them. And maybe 3. That's the 4K already secured. The Viper Spit's offline. Warren gets him eventually, but Kix is there for the trade immediately. The absolute confidence from BONK to push through that Viper's Pit. Insane.
No. Like, the confidence is great. These are amazing kills, but what is this fourth one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Check him PC.
Check him PC, for sure. What? I mean, it's a pre-fire spot. Yeah, you know one player's on top of 410. How are you gonna pre-fire that? I guess if you're bunker, sure.
Yeah, I guess if you're bunker and you're not playing a judge, I'm buying.
I think the judge would have been actually good in that Viper's Pit.
True, actually. But it's also a little scary because every single member from VAMONOS, not a single one was expecting or looking for a flank. You're playing against someone like Chihuahua. You know eventually there's gonna be a flank.
Absolutely. Closure. Finding one with that Blade Storm. Chihuahua returning to favor. Can they get the spike down? It seems likely, yes. Forwards for retake.
Heal and Resurrection available for Zik. Looking to get the pick off on Cider, but it's not gonna be enough. Able to get back to safety. I think the over-aggression eventually was reeled in by Zik, and I think that's exactly what's needed. Because BONK, they only have 3 players left. They have that operator. So forcing them in a little bit of an awkward position is more than enough.
Yeah, really hard plan to retake even. They have the Hunter's Fury kicks. One pick coming down, but Warren so fast with it. I think this is gonna be real tough for the side of BONK, and VAMONOS will take a second round. How many will Yuseo take down with him? Only one. I think Warren is gonna end up dying in the spike as well. But VAMONOS, they're happy with the second round. They didn't have much invested into that round, and I think it was Clusius' first pick with the Blade Storm that were able to give them the spike plant and that round win.
Yeah, confidence is being found a little by VAMONOS, which I think is crucial for them to be able to perform in these rounds and to be able to get that individual performances that we need. And it feels like BONK, after that play in the Viper's Pit, the adrenaline is probably still pumping. So it's just a matter of like calming down a little and getting it back on track. But VAMONOS, they're doing good. They're picking up the pace. They're realizing that there lies strength in getting the first pick and just pressing W onto site. And it feels like BONK were not prepared for that round.
Absolutely not. And there's actually teams that take timeout right after like a huge clutch, huge 4K like that. Especially if you have a young player who takes that, who's not too experienced, because you're going to be shaken. The adrenaline is going to be pumping. But BONK is not one of those, especially when it's a bunker who has so much experience. VAMONOS making a lot of space on the kitchen, but there's the Cypher trap. And Chihuahua, that's close.
Yep. Chihuahua anchoring on B side, having Jusu pushed out aggressively as well when there is early connection onto B. He'll be able to dash back to safety, give that information. But what's worrying me right now is mid. There's a bit of a push onto mid from 2 players. We have Fluja and Nile going for it. Sunshine gets that first pick off on Cider. That's a Viper down. Kix does get a little bit of a trade as he takes down Zik. But BONK, he was not expecting that. He could have been potentially expecting 1 player, but not both of them pushing out of tube. Loses his life to try and catch this off guard, and lockdown once again being secured by Sunshine. This is the second one, round 8.
Yeah, depending how fast the retake is going to come, Sunshine might use that lockdown, but they still have Hunter's Fury, double nano swarms on the spike. No reason to use the lockdown. You have the advantage as well, and maybe even soon BONK might consider saving this one. Snake bites, everything on the board.
The Hunter's Fury coming out as well, and the spike has not even been tapped. They are not risking this for the biscuit. They're not leaving anything up for chance. They want this round. They're securing this round. They're closing the gap no matter what you throw at them.
Absolutely.
Boom.
BONK. Just trying to salvage some money right there. Save up the rifles. The operator. VAMONOS catching up. Sunshine with the lockdown as well. It's gonna be a rough round for BONK. Really nothing that they could counter the lockdown with, other than aggression. And maybe Yuseo's Blade Storm. Only 1 death for you. So Kix has the operator now.
Hey, give Kix the operator. See what they can do. I mean, I feel like Kix so far, when we've seen him on the KO, we've also seen him on the Jet, actually. I think he's a very talented player. And BONK, they had individual plays step up. Now it's a matter of getting back to the form that we've seen them in, especially on that pistol round. It feels like VAMONOS have figured out how to get onto sites, and they have figured out that some of the rotations from BONK are not as fast as you might expect them to be. So therefore,
You should run.
press W key.
Absolutely. Good shock dart coming in. Puts a lot of damage on the side of VAMONOS. Nille, Kluja, Zik. Everyone taking a lot of hit from that. And it eases out the retake a little bit, but still a 5 vs 5 retake. It's not gonna be easy.
I was gonna sneeze and then Zik hit that shot. I was like, nope, no sneezing, not allowed, not on the job, can't do that. Couple of shots. Gonna be coming up, but not quite connecting. And it feels like Jisoo does finally to pick, but time is ticking, and once again they need to commit. It's now or never. Borwin gets a pick, Zik gets another. Members are dwindling. Zik is just such a pain to be dealing with, and so is Nille. And no matter how hard Bungs tries, VAMONOS is not giving them a round for free.
Absolutely not. I think right there VALORANT's spot was so good. Just hiding behind that Cypher cage, in between that Cypher cage and the Sage wall. There was no one who could clear that position, and if they could, if they would fight that position, I think Zik was the player who was there to just support VALORANT, be there to play that contact, and really good post plant setup for the side of VAMONOS. I really like how they're playing these post plants. They're not giving anything for free. All that they have to do is get to site, and if they get that, it looks like their post plant is really solid.
Yeah, it feels also a little bit of a miscommunication here. You're looking at A, and we see that Cider has put down the Viper Pit, and BONK was there. But once the Viper Pit has been put down, BONK decides to leave site. And it feels like he didn't need to be there for Cider to be putting down that Viper Pit. So, because he's backed off immediately anyway. Therefore, it's bringing a little bit of a question in terms of what is their communication looking like at the moment, because Bonker, he could have been on B site with the rest of the team. He didn't need to be on A site with Cider, who has put down the Viper's Pit. But Jisoo, however, he's looking to get a couple of picks on these rotations. So far, it's only Sunshine. Sunshine's been doing quite a lot, actually, on the Killjoy as well.
Yeah, he's really patient. And I wonder if Yuzo actually hears the Killjoy turret on A main, and he's like, yeah, the Killjoy is somewhere close here. We do not want to deal with him. Let's just take the fast retake, and what a dink! Yuzo is 1 HP.
Absolutely beautiful. Bonker gets a pick with the lineup as well. Make that another. And that's a sheer firepower coming out from both Yesu, but Sunshine is not a force to be reckoned with. He still has 3 members to be dealing with. He's gonna find one. He's gonna switch to the classic. That's not enough because Kix has the defuse, has the pick. And Bonkar finally found themselves another round after being 3 down back to back.
Godgar? Really? It's not this time around?
I mean, what that play on the Viper's Pit, absolutely.
I think there was a shock dart and a kill after that coming from Bunker. Really good retake. Yuzo getting another one, giving that pressure, and them just holding, one holding spike, 2 players holding that angle, secures that round. Obviously losing quite a lot of players, which means Chihuahua has to go for the Spectre. But good round for BONK. Maybe getting something back. VAMONOS seem like they want to commit to A site, and maybe this is the round where BONK actually commits for the flank.
5 men onto A side. We've seen this before from VAMONOS, and it's worked out for them in the past. Will history repeat itself? I mean, it does tend to do so. But is that the case in Valorant, you ask? Well, today, let's watch as this history class unfolds real time. Where VAMONOS is looking to get out the side, 1 minute left on the clock, 5 men pushing, and they're not taking into consideration the fact that Yesu is on a flank. Do they have an alarm bot? Sure. Is it gonna do the job? Perhaps.
Sick, 1 HP.
That's sick.
Spike down, and it seems seems like he does. Gets away as well.
Ooh, Zig does find that 1 pick though. And that's history already starting. Cider, though, looking to get a pick through the box. Is going to go for the wallbang, but it's not enough. Chihuahua and Kix, though, they're dropping numbers back to back to back. And as you blink, every single member is down. Kix and Sunshine left.
Beanie! You saw the beanie!
You did see the beanie, but no, he didn't.
Sunshine.
Beautiful
Give me a
gameplay
little
from Sunshine.
How does it
no.
even go? That's kind of cringe.
Wow. Whoa. Calm down. Relax. Are you okay?
Nah.
Who hurt you?
Let's not talk about that. VAMONOS? Why do I say it like that? Well, anyway.
Is it
One away.
VAMONOS? VAMONOS?
VAMONOS? VAMONOS?
I'm not sure.
Someone tell us.
We need every team and every player to send like a voice recording
Absolutely.
at the beginning of like, hello, this is how you say my name. This is how you say my team's name. And therefore we cannot make a single mistake.
What
Taiba
do you
from
say,
BONK.
Manai?
I think this is actually quite necessary because BONK initially were in the lead.
Yeah.
And they lose 3 rounds back to back. They manage to get one, but they lose another few. And I think it's for BONK, it's just not going the way they expected it to go. Initially, I was expecting them to have Chihuahua, anchor onto B side, aggressive play from the rest of the team, but that's not what we're seeing. We saw it early on, we're not seeing it anymore. So it feels like an adaptation needs to be coming through.
For sure. I think they had heavy control of the match at the start, just because Yusa was on fire. He was able to dominate not so ready VAMONOS here. And I think VAMONOS, after their timeout, they gathered some ground. They were able to like calm themselves down a little bit. It seems like they've been taking control of this map and maybe getting it all down to 6-6 even when switching the sides.
Kix got the first pick. I think that's definitely what BONK needs at the moment. Getting Clusia out of the picture, getting that jet offline, especially on this eco round, doing as much damage as you possibly can. Sunshine, however, is going to be looking to invest the lockdown. Let's get the turret from it for a little. But you know what? We just go right back. Why not? A site has worked so many times for VAMONOS. Why should we just commit to it?
Yeah, and they will get the side again. Killjoy lockdown. Resurrection coming through as well. Clusia back in the game. It's not gonna look good for BONK because they have so much lower buy in this round. Only 2 rifles available.
Yep. And once this Viper's wall drops, Chihuahua's gonna be visible, and that's gonna be a whole other issue.
Zick. He's been so good at this.
You can see your feet. I think in general it feels like BONK is struggling with these retakes. They're not using their util in terms of getting themselves on site. It feels like they're all pushing from the same angle. It feels a little disjointed in terms of what we've seen earlier on. I think BONK has had a lot more success when they were pushing out aggressively against VAMONOS. When Jisoo was 10-0, they were getting early picks in terms of preventing VAMONOS from getting onto site. But once BONK gives up that pressure, BONK gives up that space, that's when VAMONOS thrives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you have to credit VAMONOS as well for that. I think they have been really good at denying that information, denying that aggressive use a rifle on maybe A pipes, just getting a Sova recon dart down, being so prepared for that, pulling up the Viper wall before peeking that corner. And like all of those small situations make Yuseo not to want to pick that anymore, not to have that much confidence anymore on those picks. And I think that's what's struggling. Yuseo had what, 10 kills in first 4 rounds, now 13 only.
Yeah. And that is falling off a little, but again, they're now on the attacking side. Jet, again, Bill is getting on the side. It's going to be much easier for them with the setup that they have as well. And that's exactly what they do. I mean, this is a pretty classic strat. You get the blind down, you put the sage wall up, you back off, you call it a day.
Exactly. Clusia with the serve in hand. Let's see. The sage wall is usually really rough to counter in this pistol round. Can BONK do something with this?
They break it down immediately. Kix gets the first Clusia. On the return, the spike is ticking. They have an awareness in terms of where it is, but a couple of these players need to go for the leer load. Nilo finds one, Jisoo another.
Oh.
It's still going in the fuse. In the meantime, nobody's stopping it. Yes, Chihuahua, you get the last couple of picks, but it was diffused. Unfortunately for BONK, but fortunately for VAMONOS.
Yeah, Nile not overheating and going for the push through Cloud, the Viper Cloud, is so detrimental for that round for VAMONOS. Zeke just keeps on defusing that spike, and when you're on pistol round, you don't have that many bullets. You cannot really spam on the spike and find that exact position where Zeke is defusing. So Nil just staying alive, keeping that Cloud Orb up is so crucial for that round. And BONK actually going for a forced buy here. They get, yeah, I mean, they got the spike down, so why not? You can go for the stingers.
Stinger indeed, and you have the Spectres available as well this time around. And it feels like both of these teams, like, BONK is taking a little bit of a gamble in terms of what they're able to do, and so far it's looking to pay off. Never mind, none of Warren and Nilla have a say in it, and add Zeke to the tally. And just like that, every single investment that BONK has made into this round down the drain.
Okay, VAMONOS, getting that lead ahead of 2 rounds and maybe even securing the third, because I don't think BONK is gonna be buying here. Yeah, 4 servers, maybe stingers coming in, but they're gonna be saving so they can buy on next round. I think that was you and me, right? Just watching out in the ocean.
No,
Only me.
just you.
Yeah, I'm in Finland, so it's equally cold as it's in there.
Understandable.
That's, well, then that's me and me.
You and you.
All by
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, exactly.
Bam. Sucks, bro. Sorry to hear.
That's how we gamers are. Yep.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, damn. Getting shots left and right. Bunker?
So far, no shots though. Neither from BONK, neither from VAMONOS.
Yeah, let's see whether they can actually hit the shots in the middle. Nil just being a menace, just staying there while his team gains so much control of this A side.
Ooh, he's gonna spot him, the Spectre, but he's not gonna land the shots. The Sage Wall is gonna make it a little bit more difficult, but eventually it doesn't matter. Kluja and Nili just keep on adding, so does Lauren, and it does not matter how far BONK have managed to get themselves onto the side, how comfortable they might be feeling. VAMONOS is coming in guns blazing, sweeping the rug from under their feet.
9 rounds in the board, closing up with the double digits. Yeah, you have Spectres here. Cannot really hope for much. Might go for some close angles, some kind of setups. Just to see whether VAMONOS actually reads this attack from the side of BONK. Well, the Viper's Fall is already down. In terms of that, it should be fairly easy to read, and they actually placed 3 players onto B main, 1 with rifle.
Yep, and this is the aggressive push that we were expecting to see quite early on. Not from VAMONOS, but this is what we expected to see from BONK. They're taking a little page out of their strategy book. It's put BONK in an advantage early on, and VAMONOS this time around proving why ICEBOX is their playground.
Exactly. So, a little bit careful. They hear all the steps. They know exactly what BONK is gonna be doing. Let's see whether they can get reinforcements onto A side just in time. It would be so,
they're looking
so
not just
crucial.
They're not just looking to have Sunshine anchor onto A, but they're also looking for a flank. They've pushed out so aggressively onto B. If they want to go back for these rotations onto B side, BONK is in a whole load of trouble. Kluja does get spotted out, is going to be walking away. Chihuahua making sure that flank is definitely covered and on watch. Spike is down. They've gotten this far before. Can they continue to push it and close out the round?
It seems like BONK is giving so much of this side out to VAMONOS. They're not controlling any of it, just playing retake, post-plant.
Well, the shots are being fired, and he has to go for the reload. What's going on? Cider is the one to come out on top. Unfortunately, Nille is not going to be able to do too much there. 2 players are down, but a little reload mistake coming up from the side of Zeke. Bonkar and Chihuahua finishing off the tally. 7-9. Bonkar, they are relieved. Because that's what they needed.
Yeah, if they didn't win that round, that would have been so crucial for them. VAMONOS would have been on double digits. BONK without any money. Now they can maybe start building that bank. You're so close for those ultimates. Everyone in your team has ultimate in 2 orbs at least. But on the other side, you have Nille with that Viper's Pit. It seemed like Nille maybe would have wanted to use it on that last round if he had more time, but didn't quite go for it. VAMONOS once again just trying to defend this A side where BONK is heavily situated. But the Viper's wall is still on B.
Yep.
There's clues awaiting with the operator.
Yeah, Cluj's line of sight is a little distorted, so not able to get information too early on. But if anything, they decide to push on to B, they're gonna have to go past that Viper's wall. Toxic screen. And therefore, he is gonna be able to get some info. He's gonna be potentially even able to get a pick here. Tripwires, you know what? They remind me of Mission Impossible. I don't know why, but they do.
Okay.
Don't ask.
Wasn't about
Oh,
to.
they
Sorry.
could be in kitchen. Cider could be walking into Nille. We're just gonna miss a shot. He's
What?
not looking. Oh, unfortunately, the timing looking away at just a little too early or a little too late, however you want to call it. And it's Nille who finds a pick off on Cider. But Chihuahua, he's still a menace onto A side. Doesn't have the spike, but is looking to close in on Sunshine to some capacity to give the team the opportunity to go
way.
for the plant. They're walking past each other. Eventually does find it. Neural Theft coming through with the upload. Location revealed. And it's going to give BONK a little bit of safety in terms of getting the plant down, which is what they need immediately. Chihuahua popping off. This is his round. The Viper Pit. It's not
Look at
going to
Bunker.
connect.
Just flanking around in spawn. Is he gonna get there in time?
Ooh, Kicks. Kicks doesn't need Bonker. Neither does Chihuahua, because you know what? They're all ready to defend themselves. The Viper Pit is down. BONK are closing the gap. One more round left for them to equalize it. And it feels like they found their footing again.
Yeah. It's that round seems so hard after Cider died in kitchen. You cannot commit to B side because the wall is down. You have to go to A. But thankfully for BONK, Chihuahua is so aware of Sunshine. I'm not even sure if he spotted Sunshine going through that wall, but for some reason he's gonna check the other side of 410, go for that maze pick and pick up Sunshine, the sole holder of that A side, which allows them to win this round. And now B side is open. BONK, are they finally gonna commit to this B side while VAMONOS are actually on a save?
Yeah. It feels like, again, BONK just taking a little too long to get onto site. Yes, you want to be cautious. Yes, you want to clear as many angles as possible. But having 4 members wait while another takes the orb is a little excessive, I think. Still, to get the plan down, and they're going to be able to back off. And they actually do not lose a single player on this execute.
Yeah, Hunt's Fury available, double snake bites as well. Rough retake for the side of VAMONOS. Oh, Nille! Actually, snake bite coming through. Clusia has second one.
That gives him the Viper. Spade Kicks does manage to bring Chihuahua back to life, but Cluja again takes an outsider. Kicks and Bonk are on the tally, looking to add more, looking to do more damage. Nille with the Marshall, though, is not a force to be reckoned with. He's taking everyone down. He doesn't need the Viper. Spade, just give him a Marshall.
I didn't even realize until Nille got those 2 kills that it was a 4K with a Marshall. I don't think he had the Marshalls to start with, but somehow he's able to get the 4K there and secure that for VAMONOS. That looked like a really solid round for BONK. They get the spike plant for free. You have Hunter's Fury, double snake bite, everything on board. But you don't get the round still just because of this Sage Wall and Zeke defusing it all the way through and Nille being menace. It's not every day you see Nille on a Marshall popping off, but when you do, it's beautiful.
Maybe you don't want to see it every day. At least if you're a BONK fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you're like, oh, Nille, you can
Get him
turn
out.
it down a little bit. Okay. BONK going for the timeout. Last time around, they had a decent run after the timeout.
They got 2 rounds, if I remember correctly, after the timeout. It feels like the timeout, yes, it's needed. They need to get it together a little. But it's also, is it going to be enough? Because the second timeout of the game, the first one, I think they were able to get 2 rounds back to back.
I think it was those 2 rounds that they got. And for BONK right now, they need way more. At least 4.
Isolate them and kill them.
But thankfully for BONK, this map pick is for the side of VAMONOS. It's not BONK's map pick, but we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Haven. the previous results for BONK is not the greatest.
Absolutely. And if you're looking at VAMONOS and Haven, they did great. Again, they had an incredible run throughout. By the looks of it, ICEBOX, I mean, again, we've seen the games for Focus against
Poison's off.
HSDR, and if anything, they were able to crawl back, but is this going to be replicatable from the side of BONK? Because it feels like they find their footing, they lose it a little. VAMONOS adapts, BONK doesn't adapt as quickly. And then you get the timeout. They find a little bit of a gap, but they're still stuck in terms of finishing things cleanly. And as I say that, Kix is starting it off very cleanly.
Spike planted.
Yep, I really like that, Kix. Getting some confidence, getting few kills. I think that's the lineup even, when you look at positions of the bodies. Seems like VAMONOS, they are looking for the retake. They have Resurrection. I think it's gonna come through. Sunshine, brought back.
There we go.
One kill would bring the lockdown for Sunshine up, but I think there's no time for that. They just have to go for the retake. Win the dual stick, once again having that stage wall.
No, that stage wall has been an absolute
Not again.
terrible thing, and he's just keeping to
Not
he's
again!
just deciding to go for the
Not
defuse.
again!
And he's done it once again. This wall, this stage wall is an absolute thorn in the side of BONK that they cannot seem to get rid of. And that should not be legal.
Not again!
Oh my god.
I mean, VAMONOS securing that 11th round, it seemed like they had no place in that round, even after Resurrection. But Zig playing the Sage Wall down, just defusing. That's the kryptonite of BONK. You cannot win a Sage Wall. That's why you save it.
They did eventually break it, but it took a little too long. There were too many blocks in terms of the positioning that Zik put that wall into, and it just fell apart for BONK. And it's not the first time that we see them get onto site, get the plant, get into post-plant position, and still not have any luck in terms of closing it out. Oh,
Nille. Good start.
so is Sunshine.
Getting that second pick. Having lockdown available seems so rough for BONK. The plant is not most default plan, but this Killjoy lockdown will definitely cover it.
Yep. Killjoy lockdown's gonna buy them so much time. Chihuahua is gonna try and use some of the setup to potentially pick a couple of the players. Cider goes for the pick, but Kix once again back to the rescue. But little do they know that he is defending his teammate with his life. He will throw everything he has at this round. He gets picked off, but the snake bite and a pick from Cider finishes it off. 9 rounds on the board for BONK.
No!
And Kix to save the day.
The other Sage on the side of VAMONOS, Zig places Sage walls. Kix is getting a casual 4K right here. Cider, there's not enough space for both of them. It's like back in Titanic. Not enough space on that board. And Kix is like, don't worry, I'll save you.
That didn't happen in Titanic.
It didn't.
No.
But this time,
Yeah.
it's
But
a
this time
different story.
this is the good version. This is the better version.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, the classic from Zig though does manage to take ES2 outsider. Eventually gets the trade. That's the Viper Spit online. Cutting out lines of sight, making it difficult for BONK to even get onto the site itself. Do they want to commit, or are they happy to retreat, take the spike, go back to B, which is now currently being populated by no one else but Sunshine?
I still don't believe that last round. I mean, what? Okay, sure. Let's go ahead. BONK going to B side again.
Again. And this time around on the B side, they have 3 members from the side of VAMONOS. Oh, the plant is going down. The Sage Wall, though, is still available. Zik is not dead yet. Hunter Sphere is going to get a little tag, but that's all he's going to be doing for now. And not again. That's another Sage Wall, please. I have absolute PTSD. He's going immediately for the defuse, but Kix is aware of this and tells him, you cannot play me 3 times in a row. That's not going to happen today. I'm going to make you sit down. And that's exactly what he does. The spike is still ticking. Chihuahua gets to pick himself. And Vorwan, and that leaves Nila to fight all for himself. There's a little bit of an awkward situation with the angles that these Sage walls are providing. They just have to clear them away. He's looking to get another aggression, but Chihuahua's quick. And 10 to 11. BONK is closing the gap, but still a little shaky.
Yeah, Zig, this time around, not having enough support, not having enough of those bodies to throw at BONK, just clearing out that Sage wall instantly. I'm happy to see this. There's no way Zig gets another one of those. Is there? Surely
there?
not.
I don't know. Time will tell.
Surely not.
Timeout from VAMONOS. I think this was expected, yeah.
Yeah. You have to get one more round to secure that OT. And once again, this brings me back to the last game. How it started. Really even out map. Focus HS there. It was really close. And I think BONK and VAMONOS, they're about to do the same. They are about to go all the way. OT.
Yeah, let's go.
Everything. And I'm happy with that. As long as we don't see any more of those sick diffusing walls.
Yep, I think those diffusing walls have been really scary to deal with from the side of BONK. They're struggling.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to try to counter that when, especially if VAMONOS has the lead coming in the retake. How do you counter that Sage wall? Because you cannot be focusing all into that Sage wall because you have to focus on the other players pushing in as well. So that's why it has been working so well for VAMONOS. But I don't think it should work again. Zig this time actually insta-walling this B main, just trying to deny that control from the side of BONK.
Control. I think so far, BONK, on the attack, they have been a little bit more proactive rather than what we've seen them on the defense. I think so far that is paying off. But VAMONOS are just as proactive. They're definitely showing us, like, they're making me nervous because I predicted BONK. No bias.
Same.
But they are making me nervous.
Well, you know what? At least if
Ooh.
if BONK doesn't win, then no one gets points out of talent.
If BONK doesn't win, I full talent BONK really don't win, then we need to reevaluate.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Kicks, gets the spike down, Resurrection coming in actually. Yuso is back in the game, but is he for long? No, he is not. 4 versus 4 situation, and Zig is so fast with it.
Yeah, BONK are adding it as well to the tally, 3 to 3. For both of these teams, and as the wall drops, Kicks is having the back of their teammates, the front, like, he's making sure that every single player that's on his team is protected. That makes it so difficult for VAMONOS that the heal comes out from Zig and immediately Nili gets punished. Kicks is just an absolute monster this game. It's so hard to be dealing with someone so talented. And he's carrying the team on his back. 23 to 14. Who is this kid?
Exactly why we highlighted Kicks. And actually on the other side, Nille as well. Look at this, guys.
Wow.
Popping off, Nille playing that Viper. Kicks, also a supportive role. But you can be really, really strong with that Sage as well. Just going for the duels. And like we saw, Kicks saving Cider. This kid has a bright future. I'm amazed that he's not on tier 1 team quite yet.
Aggressive push from Nile. He's not gonna get spotted out, but still through the smoke, looking to get the spray off a little too early. Jutsu with the punishment. And now Sunshine on the Sheriff, looking to do a little bit of damage. But they're fully aware of the positioning and they know that A side is free, ripe for the taken. It's like, you know, a fruit tree. And they're like, I want it. It's mine.
What is that? Closer? Not a chance.
BONK, everyone from the side of BONK is online. They're not playing with this. They do not want to lose a single rifle. They did end up losing one. But it's now a pull on Sunshine.
Yeah,
close it out. Double peek. You're not going to win that, unfortunately. 12 to 11. BONK is fighting for survival. Fighting for the win.
I mean, the second timeout, it was perfect, no?
Yeah.
They needed more than 2 this time around. And they've
I want to
gotten
apologize
exactly
for doubting.
They've gotten the 4th. Oh, that's so fast. That's so nasty. Like every time you kill from a rope, you're like, okay, I'm sorry. My bad. A Cider, Viper Spit online. If they get that site, VAMONOS is gonna they're gonna have hard time retaking. Yeah, sure, you have Resurrection to away from the Hunter's Fury, and you're actually aggressing for that orb control, actually for the full A main control. Look how far closes with that operator.
Zik they want to play aggressively. I feel like at this point, this is where VAMONOS could potentially be falling apart. But instead, they take Chihuahua in the back. The cages you couldn't see, but still you spray. And this is why you spray through smoke, kids. Cider gets one. Beautiful flick on the second. He's gonna have that Viper Spit, but immediately gets taken down a little too early. Not sure of his surroundings. And Vorman was ready in kitchen, pushing down on Tube. This gives the team a little bit more of a shot to try and get it down. Hunter's Fury is coming out. Sunshine takes down Bonkar. Jisoo does get the trade, but he's tagged a little too heavily. It has to deal with the players coming out from kitchen, but also from CT. The plant is down. Vorwin gets one, and now it's on to Kicks. If anyone can do it, it's this guy. I do not know what this guy's aim routine is, but it's incredible. He knows he has to do with not one, but two of these players. He's gonna go for the first one. He gets it. He's expecting the yellow push, and that's exactly where Vorwin is coming from. Only at 10 HP.
No way!
The timing is impeccable, but it's not gonna be enough. Vorwin, the one to close this out, pushes into OT. What a game!
The nerves.
Woo!
Nerves on this guy. He's not even gonna peek the spike defuse because he's so confident that they're not gonna defuse on the first try. Then he goes for the swing because he's like, yeah, most likely gonna be tapping or something. So I'll maybe get the 1 versus 1. He absolutely does. And almost in the end takes out Warren as well, but it's not quite enough. Cider, I think a little bit nervous right there, just putting up the Viper Spit down because he's not completely sure about his positioning and gets taken out. And 12-12, we go all the way. OT.
Whew.
It's gonna start.
What a game. Okay, it was a little flippy-floppy at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, but both of these teams are making this so incredibly entertaining. I think this is potentially the best game I've seen so far tonight. So I'm really happy with that. Got the adrenaline going.
It's hard to decide between these two. Like this game and the first map that we had. There's so many multi-kills, so many highlights. I mean, Kicks' 4K, it has to be the highlight of the day so far. Far. He is in every single situation, not just playing the Sage role in terms of like giving up potentially his life for his teammate. He is trying to give up his life for his teammate, and in doing so, he's taking everybody's head off. It's incredible to see. Yeah. Never have I ever trusted someone so much. Like Kicks is like, I got it. Don't worry. I would trust my life on this guy.
Yeah, same. That's a Sage that I want to have in my game.
Yeah, for sure. 12-12, 40 seconds on the clock. Yuzo in awkward position for the side of VAMONOS, but Nille is actually gonna check it, clear it, easy side take. They get the spike plant.
Yeah, but you did get the Sage wall used already, and that means that Kix still has his available. Kix is gonna try and break this down a little. But you're gonna have to go for this push. A little bit of an elevation. Just crouching, you're not gonna be able to hit those, unfortunately. Zik take Chihuahua out, and that means Cider all by himself in 1v5. Time is ticking. He doesn't have much left on his side, and that's a little worrying for this time around because it feels like Bonk did have quite a lot of success on the defense, and that's the one that they just lost. So now they are in a little bit of a pickle.
Yep. Bonk getting that 4 rounds in the start, I think helped them a lot in the defensive side. Losing that is crucial. Obviously, they had a decent second half of the second half in terms of attacking. And I think the momentum comes from there. Winning that 4 rounds in a row could help them get this 13 on the board as well. But they just need to get it. Otherwise, they're going to go to Haven.
Yeah.
Down 0-1. You're so fast.
I think look again once at the side of VAMONOS. They're pushing out so aggressively through mid. No one is actually keeping an eye on them, but there's 2 tripwires. This is the beauty of Cypher coming into play. But that does mean that when we're looking at BONK and their positioning, they are pinchered in between 3, every single one of their members. 3 on the back of side, 2 that are trying to come through with the flank. And that is a scary situation to be in because they haven't even got the spike down yet.
Yeah, look at that Cypher trip. Prevents for VAMONOS to go in the belt. And now it's all down to VAMONOS just to keep hold of that A side, maybe give some pressure. I don't know why Sunshine is even checking mid right at this point. Yeah, they could be alert. The timing is not perfect. Sick.
Oh, the tripwire is gonna come through.
Oh!
He's gonna find one, but Chihuahua gets both of them. The lurkers are immediately taken out.
And the ult.
And that is a neural theft. The body might not be fresh enough for them to get the neural theft online. But still, that is 2 players from the side of VAMONOS gone.
Actually, that's not a restriction anymore. You can get that in this patch whenever you want to. And Nille solo holding A side, gets spotted twice, kicks. You say, oh, what?
Ooh.
Nille
makes it 1-on-1 against Chihuahua.
10 seconds left.
They're both not aware of their position, but Chihuahua has to get that plan down. He doesn't have the time. It's now or never. He's trying to fake it out. But with these 4 seconds on the clock, Chihuahua has made a decision, and the decision was not to go for the plant, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to capitalize off of that. And VAMONOS secure their map pick ICEBOX 14-12. That what? Can we just not come back to our cameras right away? Because we're both like shook.
Yeah. But what? Nille getting that double kill onto these young monsters and then winning against Chihuahua, kinda having to expose his position there with the snake bite. But that is exactly what wins him the round, and Chihuahua, he has to stick it. I'm not even quite sure if he had the time, if that's the reason why he didn't stick it all the way to the end. Doesn't quite stick it. There's no time to find Nille, and it's just GG. VAMONOS, really solid looking team.
Yeah, VAMONOS started off, maybe nerves got the best of them. I'm not sure what happened, but once they were able to reel it back in, they really pushed BONK to their limits. And it's not to take away from BONK at all, because I feel like every single one of their players has shown up in this match. We've seen clutches from Cider, we've seen clutches from BONK, we've seen Yusu pop off completely at the beginning. Chihuahua has had some great plays himself. I don't even have to talk about kicks. But when we're looking at VAMONOS, when we're looking at how they were able to build a lead and how they were able to show up in some of these moments that potentially were the ones that mattered the most, especially Nille on that final round with that 2k onto 3 of the remaining members, I think this team does not crumble under pressure.
No, 150 HP still left.
Whew.
Neither one of those players actually hit Nille, and they know exactly where he is. I don't know what happened there for BONK. They have pinged where Nille is. They could have grouped up with 3. I'm not even sure if that would have been enough. Grouping up with 2, going for that kill, that should be well enough. I'm not even sure if I can fault that. On the side of BONK, Chihuahua just wanting to look for the other angle if Nille rotates onto there, just to secure for his teammates.
Yeah.
Just great performance for Nille. A great individual round. And there were many of those. We saw something coming from kicks. Few actually coming from Nille. That Marshall round, amazing stuff. I'm excited to see what we have in store in Haven.
And it's quite interesting actually, because Nille and Kix were both of the players that we highlighted coming into this match, or the ones that you highlighted here, MP, in terms of keeping an eye out for them. And they did incredible this map. And I think, if anything, this sets quite a big precedence for what we can expect on Haven. I think, again, ICEBOX, it is VAMONOS pick. It's not BONK's pick. And they did make it very difficult for VAMONOS to close it out. So now they're going to be heading on to Haven. It's either every single one of us casters are going to be proven wrong and VAMONOS are going to win, which is incredible, or BONK is going to be pushing it towards the 3rd map, which can also be incredible. So if you want to find out what happens next, stay tuned. We'll be back right after the break.
Bye.